even here because it started to not look like that great. Like we trailed stop loss, yeah, so to 142 point like three something, right? And we got stopped out break like pretty much break even, right? So and if we had held that, we would have gone stopped out. So I'm glad I moved. I did trail stops. Like this was a must hold area in my opinion to see more upside, but it didn't hold. So I'm glad we moved stops. So we didn't take a loss. So the next area I'm looking at for Sol is here, but I would much rather have us filled once the H4 EMA 200 catches up. Like if it like catches up and then it sort of lines up with our entry, I think that could be a nice long from here. Also, this lines up with like the 886 from like this area. So I don't know the exact entry yet, but it will be from. Yeah, I will move it accordingly to those two confluences there, right? Ideally line up with the 886, but to be honest, if we look on the 4 hour and so like structure wise, it needs to hold like here 137. Otherwise, I mean, if we lose that low, that looks pretty cooked. Like if we lose that low, then you know, we're going back to 132 in my opinion at the minimum. So I had scalp shorted saw up here, but that was I closed pretty early, like for 1.7R or something. It wasn't. It was like I shorted like the 786 here, and I closed somewhere in this bounce because I expected us to bounce in this area. But yeah, I should have kept that right. Quite a lot of bearishness here. Um, you know, we want to see a pretty good like I'd say reversal soon across alts. Like I'll quickly go over Bitcoin dominance. So just briefly, like Bitcoin dominance started like skyrocketing, right? Which is not good for alts at all. And like it has to like yeah. So this okay. This hadn't happened already, so we already rejected from the area I drew yesterday. Um, yeah, like it has to. If it flips this zone, like ideally it goes down here, right? And alts get some relief. That's what you would want to see if you're bullish on alts and you want to look for long setups. But if this starts like displacing above, you start seeing displacement above this like zone, then I'm not gonna lie, that's not good for altcoins, especially if Bitcoin's pulls back even further. They're also gonna take a hit. Um, like if you flip this box here, you know we're probably gonna go for this high here and potentially even here. That would be pretty brutal for alts, but that's not it's still too early to say, right? Like technically speaking, and we could reject anywhere in this box, right? So at least for me, like I'd still be looking for swing, not swing, but like either you want to build up like spot positions if you think the low is in, but then you also want to be quick to cut if you see that the environment's changing, right? Like if we go on the daily, when was it? Like I think, yeah, like so you could argue, right? Like you could have drawn a trend line here, and once we had that like trend break in like early May, you could have started loading up on spot, and also rallied hard like in April and May, and this rallied back up as well, of course. A lot of this was, I think, a lot of this was due to the, I think, Iran and Israel FUD that was going on in the news. So that had effect on notes as well. But as you can see, like that, like when Bitcoin dominance like, you know, finally breaks, it does drop quickly and it drops hard, right? So you know you want to be you want to be positioned if that's the case this time as well. Right now it's skyrocketing, right? But like you basically don't want to see you don't want to start buying alts and then not have an invalidation, in my opinion, at least on the higher time frame. Um, but like this retrace up that we're having now, like this could be like the pullback before higher, right? I'm just hoping if it is, it does fill us like first. Like this, there are so many confluences here, like this, like no low 93s. Like in my opinion, like I'd be genuinely baffled and like shocked if this gets stopped out. Like I'd be very surprised. Like below 91,700, it looks cooked. It looks cooked and it's going to 86 in my opinion. Sorry, 87. So yeah, this is like do or die level for me, and these are the best longs, best RR longs at least. Mm. By the way, if you have any alts, pop them in chat. I will take a look at them as well. Um, let me see. I'll go over XMR because this one's interesting. It's this was a new coin that's like flavor of the month, and yeah, it's interesting to do TA on it. So this never got filled, but honestly, that's not a surprise. Like I was in the 5 minute, and I was like testing, and yeah, like it was insane. Like every 618 was getting brought up, but I was like, this would be a clean setup if we sweep if we sweep that wick into the 786, that would have been clean. But that never happened, right? We finally actually saw a clean rejection, but I think I'll show you guys where that was from. Hold on. I'm actually gonna just clear my chart because it's kind of a lot of noise. What? If you pull a fib from the all-time high in 2021 to the low, oh wait, yeah, look at this. So, do you guys want to know where rejected? Is rejected? Look at that. Imagine having a limit there. This was completely valid to take as well. Like maybe, like have your stops like I don't know. I'd say like just a little bit above like the 50% on the way to the 786. Like that was completely valid to play, a setup to play out. But I wasn't watching like XMR like as it got to 700, 800. So in my opinion, it makes sense that like this got rejected here. But this has still got legs in my opinion. So a setup I would watch though is if we like daily or weekly SFP the highs here. I would that'd be like a short trigger for me. And then obviously like on the lower time frame, I'd try to find like a good entry. So like I would want the higher time frame first to give me the trigger, and then I'd move into the lower time frame, right? So as long as like your higher time frame and lower time frame, they both like are matching, right? Then I'd say that's a much more like a safer approach than to just like a short it on the lower time frame, but like the higher time frame still bullish. You know what I mean? So that's like it's a much safer approach to go about things. You start from the high time frame and then you try to find entries on the lower time frame that align with the higher time frame. So for now, it's yeah having a pullback, right? But once it gets above here, it's in my opinion above this wick, starts the spacing. Like you could probably look for a scalp long with like your inval would be like below a swing, like a lower time frame swing low, and then you'd be targeting that high there, and that's where you would look for the short or head short if you're in a long, right? So yeah, the other scenario would be if XMR would would just like, you know, take out the like 1.786 or 1.886. If the narrative is strong, then it most likely just blows past these two. I don't know if it. I don't know. I just know it's privacy, and after Zcash, like I'll quickly show you guys. Like after all this Zcash FUD, like this is yeah, it doesn't look great, right? There's always gonna be like another privacy coin that people flock to. These were setups that I was looking at before, but oh wow, this. So this did like 1R. Okay, I haven't checked this in a while. So this would have got stopped out if I didn't move stop logs break even here. And then now it's back at the 382. In my opinion, if it goes to the 0.5, this is still valid. But when I drew this setup, it aligned more with the H4 200 EMA. But you know, so yeah, I mean, this was also about like you could have just retaken the setup I drew here, right? But I'm not in this. I was in this on a different dex, but I closed out once I saw like there was like the FUD had kind of like died off like somewhere around here. Actually no, I think it was, I can't remember where I closed, but it was somewhere in here. Yeah, I'm not too. I'm more. I would say I would like the chart that looks best is XMR in my opinion. Let me check the chat. Hype. Okay, I'll do hype, then I'll do Pepe. So, let me see. Oh, wow. I didn't take this, but I think I drew this out. I think, yeah, that was 3 days ago I drew this out, and clearly it didn't play out. I'll leave that on there. That's funny. So, it respected the H1 200 nicely here. Here at first it did, it gave a small reaction, but then blasted through to the H4. What a short that would have been, right? But hype, it's looking good here, to be honest. Like lower time frame, like you could argue like this was a market structure shift here, right? Very good displacement above that wick high there that led to that low, right? And I'm sure if you pull, wait, let me delete this. Let's see. Yeah, so it seems like it's already tapped the 618. I mean, if this is really, this is clean, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely stronger than than like most alts right now are this. Oh, this is most alts. Lower lows, lower low, right? Hype is going up, making high highs, high lows. So not gonna lie, if you had a limit here, if you had a limit set here, you're pretty much chilling, right? But yeah, not gonna lie, like for like a super low time frame, you could argue that like this is a setup here in itself. You could have like stops below the wick. Hold on. I mean, I'm not taking this, but it like these setups do work. Oh, like I'll show you. This wasn't as clean of a sweep, but it was a sweep nonetheless. So if you had your stops below the wick, I don't know, you closed out for like a 3R there. This one is more of a cleaner sweep in my opinion. That could be a nice setup if Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? Let me see. Yeah, so it is reacting off this level I marked out. So maybe, yeah, maybe we should have set a limit here at the VWAP. But like I said, to be honest, if we close below on the H4 on this level, I'm pretty confident we get this limit. So this could go back up from here, but I'm not gonna long just yet. It's a Friday. We're going into Saturday, right? Saturdays aren't usually very high volume. This is the wrong hype chart that I was looking at. Yeah, something like this maybe for continuation. But to be honest, tomorrow's Saturday, so it's like low volume. So I don't know if the setup would like. What if this just like chops around here for hours? Like I would just probably end up closing, and knowing my luck, I'd just probably see that run, right? But yeah, like EMA wise, like it's below it right now, so that's kind of like the resistance. But if it flips the EMA, like this could be in like another setup. If you see like candles are displacing up here multiple, then you could enter where like your invalidation would be like below like one of the lows that got like the reclaimed it. But it's risky because we're going into the weekend. In my opinion, it's risky. Someone said a hype. No, sorry, someone said Pepe. Let me see. Yeah, so see, like I just showed you guys, right? Like, hype structure was like going up, Pepe's going down. I drew this out last week. This just never failed. I think because Pepe ran hard because ETH was like on the lower time frame. ETH was had a crazy impulse up, and this was almost I think like almost 70%. This move up was insane. Hold up, I'd probably has this hit like the 0.5 yet? Like the point like no, it hasn't. Okay, that'd be a setup worth watching, right? Like maybe like scalp long in. It honestly depends on how like whether we close below here or not, but maybe something like this. Um, it'd be a conditional trade. I wouldn't leave limits on this. Like it'd have to like at least on the H4 chart close above there, like once it sweeps. Similarly to like I guess if you had scalp longed like the H4 like let me show you. So if you had seen the H4 close above here and market entered with like your inval would have been like below the lows, right? You would have gone on a nice move. I like with the setups like these, I would never hold. Like if you this is hindsight TA, right? But these are like some types of setups that I do take, but like I would never hold to like a 7R. Like that's just I'm not round tripping more than 3R. Just making you guys know. But like I know this looks like a hindsight TA, but like it is a setup I would take. But I would probably like I'll probably would have closed it like that week high or something, or maybe take trim profits at that high and then look to close the rest like at 3R or something. So this like similarly to what happened here, I'd be looking like at the exact same setup here. Sweep that, maybe tag that, the 0.5 right from the impulse up. That'd be a clean play for me, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll drop this in chat, but like understand right, like this is conditional. This is not a limit trade whatsoever. It would like the stops, the entry would be where the H4 candle closes, and the stops would be under whatever wick it created. But yeah, I'll just drop it in chat. You said H. Let me see. Is this another flavor of the month coin? Okay, whoa. What narrative is this? Holy shit, this is this just hasn't really given a good pullback. It's just like it went parabolic curve. Now it's like accumulating, right? All right, let me see. You know, I don't usually trade these type of coins. Um, huh. That's interesting. So like we got this SR here, right? Like the second this closed above, like the second it closed on the daily, like it was just up from there. So for retrace, because I'm not, I mean, do you want me to look at this on the lower time frame? On the lower time frame, I'd say I wouldn't long here, but let's see. I'd use that low because it made that high. I mean, the setup's kind of already gone. If it comes back down to here, and like if the trend is still bullish, like this should definitely hold, right? And I don't know. Your targets would be, oh yeah, this wick high. I'd 100% target that. So maybe it's not the greatest RR trade. You could probably find a better entry. But if we look at like, hold on, that could be a good target too. So, but like I don't trade these type of coins usually. Hold on, let me remove this because we're not looking at price discovery. Yeah, either there or like it does like seem to be respecting somewhat the H1 EMA 200. Not really, but not to the like a tick. But you could also like if it does retrace and this lines up with it, maybe finding an entry there below like a low. But that'd be more of a swing position if you're super bullish on this coin. But to be honest, these are the type of coins that like, in my opinion, like they'll like go up 50% and down 50% in the same day. And like I don't like to go. I have traded these coins before, but I don't I don't like to leave my positions running overnight. Just in case like some shit goes down like this. Like imagine you were long in your sleep and then you had that wick, but like you didn't have any TP set, and then you just wake up. It's like a massive drop. I mean that was over a couple hours, right? But yeah, in my opinion, I think this takes out that high there. Like if it just drops dead here, then I don't know. This coin's pretty manipulated. But yeah, I'll drop that in the chat because technically the entry already came, right? But maybe something like that, and you could target that as well. Like maybe lower risk, have higher targets. Let me see. Let me know if you have any more coins. Lit is looking like shit. Like I've not looked at this since my last setups. Chainlink. Yeah, I was watching Chainlink a couple days ago or this week. Yeah, I like the structure in Chainlink. So I still think we could see like this high at some point being taken, right? And so we'd want to get positioned before that. So let me see. It's at the 618 now, which oh god, yeah, another entry missed. If it comes back down, this is a nice setup. Like if this is truly bullish in my opinion, it shouldn't even go near the AA6. Like if the structure's still strong, sorry, if the trend is still strong, it should not dip down that far below the H4 200 EMA, and especially not the AA6. Like this is like kind of the last stand. Like if I'll show you an example in the past, like I guess from this swing low, like even here, right? Like this was a wider impulsive move though than this one here, but nonetheless, right? Like it tapped 618 and then just went. But because this is not as impulsive as the previous move, like it would make sense for it to like tap 786 as well. So that's why I would have like a wider inval. And then yeah, like this could be like a free drive pattern, right? And we've not gotten the third high yet. So, or this could just be, I do think we do take out that high though, this one, because we took that high previously. Equal highs here all the way down. We've taken out just one so far, and that was a sweep. So that was a good short setup, but yeah, in my opinion, if you go on the lower time frame, like there are interested buyers here, so it makes sense, and it's reclaiming H1 200 EMA now. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Chainlink. Like it is one of the better looking alts. So there's not too many that look that great on the higher time frame. I'll go over Doge as well. I was looking at this earlier. This was I think that was a stream setup from ages ago, but this is obviously broken structure, right? Huh. Let me think. I don't know. I think if we see that move down on Bitcoin I was talking about, I don't want to see a good reaction here for a long, a scalp long. And this would probably be a setup that I would probably like wait for the reaction and then on the lower time frame get in on a retrace by pulling another fib, right? But obviously lower time frame, something like this. In my opinion, that's what I would do for Doge. But for now, I don't really want to long here. Like it front ran that low. Or did it? No, yeah, it did. It didn't take out the low, so I think at some point it does that. Yeah. Arbitrum. Alright. Arbitrum, let's see. I've not looked at this in a while. Arbitrum. Okay. Let me turn this on. It's already back below Monday high. It looks good on, like, it looks decent, like, on the 4-hour time frame. But, let me see. Like, you have your targets, right? Like, they are there. I just don't like how this is retraced quite a bit here. Like, it's already at the 786. So if Bitcoin goes to the, like, where I think it's gonna go, like a little bit lower, like I'd have arguments to say that this at least goes to Monday, somewhere near Monday low, or maybe even take it out. So maybe, honestly, this would be clean, like a setup like that. if it aligns with Bitcoin, like it's a good RR trade in my opinion. You would need your confirmation would be like a H4 sweep. This isn't a very good drawing, but something like this below that level, and then reclaim on the hourly. Yeah, I think that'd be a good setup. I'll pop that in chat. You said optimism. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, this is stronger than Arbitrum, at least, in my opinion. Yeah, so this is something I would actually probably leave a limit on, and like, can you see how these like there are buyers like near the H4 200? So like you'd have like a somewhat tight inval, right? And if you don't see like a good reaction from there, you cut it. You cut it quickly. But if it's like a move down and then up, you could probably move stop loss break even pretty quickly. And then if you catch a really nice entry, you could probably ride it up. But for me, I'd probably just target Monday high again if I were to get filled on something like that. But like, yeah, like in theory, like if you were to get like a sniper entry on this, I wouldn't, I wouldn't close everything out. I'd leave a runner, so probably back at that range high there. I think that would be a clean setup. Obviously, if Bitcoin like starts turbo nuking and then, but it doesn't align, I probably wouldn't take this. I'd probably wait for Bitcoin to get to like low 93s, and then I would hop in this. So it kind of just depends. But this looks stronger than Arbitrum, so I'd probably rather take a setup like this rather than the other. Okay, wait, let me look. Yeah, this coin doesn't respect VWAP too much. It respects the EMA a lot more. Something like that. I'll post that in chat. But yeah. Let me know if you guys have any more questions or charts you want me to look at. Oh, I've not gone over pump, which is what someone asked me on the last live stream. Hold on, let me remove some of this stuff. Yeah, this is... So I set limits initially for this first level. Yeah, that could work. Like it's still valid, but like I just wouldn't. I would rather probably. I'd leave it limited, but I'd want a quick reaction. If I just see if I see like this on the 1 minute, like I start seeing this being reclaimed, I would get out somewhere here for like a small loss instead of just taking the whole loss on a fucking slow grind up, you know. So like high time frame pump still looks like the risk to reward is there, but it doesn't look that great. But structure rise recently it's been clean, like higher lows. Yeah, like this would be the area. Like this hasn't changed for shorts wise. If this area doesn't hold, then that would high at the And then for like a long, maybe. Yeah, well, it's still above the Monday high, so I wouldn't look for longs below it just yet. For now, this setup hasn't changed on this. Wait, let me post the values. This would be like a half-ish trade, and I cut quickly, right? But yeah. I'm gonna end the live stream here, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It was fun. Hopefully we get some fills next week. I think at the minimum, Bitcoin should fill us. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I want to head out, but take care and speak soon. Make sure you check my channel because I'll be posting some of the plays in there, right? All right, guys. Peace.